Hey, welcome to Sunday School. Week 2. Seems like it was so long ago, like 20 minutes maybe. First off, I want to say, because we're recording this on the 9th, it's playing tomorrow. I want to wish Jada a happy 18th birthday. You made it!
Yay!
And now, Sunday School. That's your line.
Okay, this is where I come in. So, tonight we're going to be doing week 2. It's Honor God. The point of the lesson is our relationship with God is seen in how we honor Him. We're going to be in Exodus 20, 7 through 11, and Psalms 145, 1 through 7. You know, as God's children, we are called to honor God above all else. It's seen in the ways we live every day. The setting on this is after their miraculous deliverance from Egypt, the Israelites traveled through the wilderness to Mount Sinai. There, God told them of the covenant He was making with them and the commandments they were to follow as His covenant people. Over 400 years later, David wrote a Psalms praising God as King, noting His excellent attributes and His mighty acts, especially on behalf of His people. Here's a fun fact: because so many of the players were drafted to serve in World War II, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles combined for the season to form the Steagles
in
1943.
1943.
Boy,
Man, that was like, I wasn't even around then.
I don't think I was around then, but I wonder if the Steagles had a winning season.
I don't know.
I don't know either. So, hey, guess what? We got a sponsor for this week.
I was trying to come up with a joke and I couldn't.
It just wouldn't. It wouldn't come out with it. Hey, we got a sponsor for this week.
Really?
We do.
No.
I know.
Finally.
Finally, Cletus's Hair Improvement.
Nice.
That's right. If you got some male pattern balding going on, losing it on the sides, losing it on the top, give Cletus a call. He'll sew you some. I don't know where he gets it, but he'll sew it right up on there for you. 1-800-CLETUS Hair Restorer.
That is awesome.
I know, it is right there.
You would have thought that was aimed towards us.
May have been, but there's been some dogs running around missing hair, so could be coming from dogs.
Cletus Vet Services next week.
It might be Cletus Vet Service next week. So we're going to be in Exodus chapter 20, verses 7 through 11. Steve,
I will take it from here.
All right, Steve's got it.
Do not misuse the name of the Lord your God, because the Lord will not leave anyone unpunished who misuses His name. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You are to labor 6 days and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You must not do any work, you, your son or your daughter, your male or female servant, your livestock, or the resident alien who is within your city gates. The Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and everything in 6 days. Then He rested on the 7th day. Therefore, the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and declared it holy.
Choose your favorite president, living or dead, and imagine he is coming to your home for dinner. Well, all I can imagine is cleaning on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floors, toilets, everything.
Mop, mop, mop.
That's right. You've made all the preparations, cooked a wonderful meal, set the table, swept the floors. When the president arrives, how do you address him? Do you open the door and say, "Hey, what's up?" Do you call him by his first name? Probably not. Now, I've never met a president, but Steve has. He's going to tell us about it.
So when I met the president, I didn't run up to him and say, "Yo, Jimmy,
Did you know?
come on over here." No, I addressed him as Mr. President, Mr. Carter. He was actually my first radio interview that I ever did, was President Jimmy Carter. We had no peanuts.
No peanuts whatsoever?
At the Peanut Festival, of all places.
At the peanut festival with no peanuts. Mm-mm.
But I knew how to address him when I saw him, when I met him. These are positions of like honor. So Yeah, you don't run up and be like, "Yo, Jimmy,
No.
let me get a peanut."
Let me get a peanut from you. No, when a role requires honor, we place a title in front of the name and speak it with respect. Yet, far too often, even believers refer to God, the creator of the universe and the sustainer of life itself, with dishonor. They refer to him using platitudes like the man upstairs, or throw out phrases such, "Oh my God." But Christ taught us in the model prayer that we are to honor our hallowed God's name. The term hallowed comes from the same root word for which we get the word holy. It means to be set apart or sanctified.
That sounds sort of like the Lord's Prayer.
It does, right? It did, yep, that is.
What was that, Matthew 6:9.
Well, look at that. Matthew 6:9, the Lord's Prayer. Mm-hmm.
You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know it, no, I did not know
It's
it.
in your phone,
Under Bible?
under Bible. That little app right there, just
Just click it.
look, it opens up and it gives you the word.
And I see it now. I don't think I've typed it in there, so it's got to be in the app. God's power is shown in creation. In only 6 days, He spoke the world into existence. On the seventh day, God rested, but not because He was tired. He rested because He had finished what He had set out to do, and He wanted to enjoy His creation. Similarly, He calls us to set aside 1 day a week to rest and reflect on who He is. All our honor is due Him. So have you ever worked outside in the yard, mowed grass, cut the bushes, the hedges and all that, got really tired, really hot, really sweaty, and you finished it, and you just step back and says, "Man, that looks good."
Man, look what I did.
I don't ever complete it.
I got the scissors and started cutting.
No, I get fed up halfway through and quit. But,
Called Cletus to see if I could get some hair stuff.
yeah, but God, He created everything. He created the heavens, the world, the water, the fishes, the animals. And He took a day off just to step back and say, "Wow, look what I created." He also wants us to take a day of rest. That's where we get the seventh day from, the Sabbath. It's a time of rest. It's time to worship Him because He had created all this for us. We are not to misuse God's name in any way. Perhaps we must often think about misusing God's name in vulgar speech. However, it means much more than this. To be a Christian is to carry the name of Christ, and any time we live in disobedience to God, we dishonor His name. So we're going to move on to Psalms 145, 1 through 3.
Is that my part?
That's your part.
All right, I'll take it from here then.
Okay, all right.
I exalt you, my God the King, and bless your name forever and ever. I will bless you every day. I will praise your name forever and ever. The Lord is great and is highly praised. His greatness is unsearchable.
I will bless you every day. It doesn't say I'll bless you when I want to. In verses 1 through 3, David praised God and declared that he would bless God every day. We may naturally praise God when life goes smoothly. Wow, everything's going good. You know, I got some money rolling in. I got a new car. I got a new girlfriend. Well, we're giving praise to God for all that good stuff. For many, when life is rough, we fall out of God. We kind of say, "God, why me? Why are you doing this to me? You know, last week I was on the up, and now I'm on the down. What's going on? Why?" You turn away from it.
We got a call from Cletus.
I got a call from Cletus. David saw things differently. He committed to praising God, not just on the good days, not only in the victory days, not just on days when he felt like dancing and singing in the streets. David declared his heart's desire to worship God every single day, praising the name of the Lord forever and ever. In our day and time, appearances are very important. We make sure our selfies are taken from exactly the right angle. And of course, we all have our favorite filters and everything that we turn on to cover our flaws. Yeah. I've seen, girls, I'm gonna have to say girls in this. I've seen girls, they stand there, turn the camera, look down, look up. Just take the picture. It doesn't
Or
change.
this.
Yeah, the duck face and all that. So we know our appearances are very important. Our spiritual lives are no different. We often look great on the outside, but our inner spiritual condition leaves a lot of room for growth. Jesus put it this way: woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Many of us aren't nearly as put together and spiritual as we appear on the outside. Under the surface we carry bitterness, doubt, ingratitude. Church attendance, Bible reading, or even witnessing doesn't make us spiritually healthy. It's not as much what we do on the outside as the condition of our hearts. And I can sing every worship song out there, Casting Crowns. That's the only one I can think of. Right? Skillet and all them. I can sing those word for word.
Mercy me.
Yeah, all them.
Crowns.
But that doesn't make me spiritual. Even though I know the words and all that, that doesn't make me anything. It just makes me show you that I can memorize a lot. So, Bible reading, church attendance. Well, I go to church every Sunday, and they've already told me they're not going to count Wednesday nights in heaven. Well,
And with the COVID, I can't even go to church on Wednesday night now.
that's true. Well, that doesn't make us spiritually healthy. We've got to understand why we're attending church. Understand why we're reading the Bible.
It's not just to make an appearance.
Yeah, just not for an appearance. God knows the state of each of our souls. When we face difficult things, we can know that He has a purpose for the pain. That gets me every single time. I can't imagine, I can't put it through my head that God knew me before I was born. He knows exactly what's going to happen to me in about 10 to 15 years. I can't wrap that around in my head, that He knows for everybody on this entire planet Earth. He knows that about them.
So what do you think what are some of the obstacles that get in your way when you're trying to worship daily?
When I try to worship daily, some of the obstacles that I have is, maybe I'm busy. Maybe I don't have time for prayer right then. And then when I finally lay down to go to sleep, I'm like, hey, I need to pray. Well, a minute and a half later, you get, dear Lord, and you're snoring. That's an obstacle. You keep putting it off. Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you're having emails, phone calls. Maybe you got meetings to go to. Maybe your job, stuff like that. Snapchats, yeah. Maybe you're, the selfies. Maybe you're into the selfies.
What do they call that? I had it.
Oh, it's gone now.
The streak.
The streak, Snapchat streak.
That's it.
Yeah. There's multitude of obstacles out there that gets in our way of worshiping Him daily. Multitudes. It's just, you've got to buckle down. You've got to do it. You've got to make the time to do it.
Like Brent says, get your quiet time. Make time for...
Make time. You got to have a quiet time, yes. So we're moving on to Psalms 145, 4 through 7.
This is my part, ain't it?
It's your part.
I'll take it from here. One generation will declare your works to the next and will proclaim your mighty acts. I will speak of your splendor and glorious majesty and your wondrous works. They will proclaim the power of your awe-inspiring acts, and I will declare your greatness. They will give you a testimony of your great goodness and will joyfully sing of your righteousness.
David's heart for God shines through in these verses. He wrote of honoring God's great works, the ways God relates to His people, as well as the goodness of God Himself. We live in a day and age when honoring God takes second place to many people's desires to honor themselves. instead of praising God. We see very clearly in our culture that people desire honor for themselves. How do we do that? Well, some people may give somebody some food. Well, guess what? They're going to blast that all over Facebook. I gave these people $250 worth of food. Yay, me! That's wrong. And in turn, we often seek to emulate them. However, this sort of image is inaccurate and deceptive and replaces a public confession of God's greatness and goodness. Today, instead of declaring the mighty works of the Lord, people boldly brag about their own beauty and greatness. I don't have beauty, I don't have greatness, so I don't have to brag about them.
I got a filter.
No filter. You need to turn that filter off at least once. So if something happens, we know what you look like, alright? Anytime we shift the focus from God and His rightful position overall and instead place it on ourselves, we fail to honor God. To live in a way that honors God, we must not only love God, but we must love Him first. The issue with Ephesians wasn't that they failed to work for God. It wasn't that they no longer loved God at all. It was that they didn't love Him first. So how do we recognize when first love has lost its place in our lives? We may have left God as our first love if we go for days without spending time in prayer or Bible reading. We feel like worship is simply going through the motions.
Or much more concerned about our image than our testimony.
Yeah, that's right.
Going to church is a chore more than a delight.
Yeah.
And we're able to sin with little conviction.
Well, that's a big one right there. We're able to sin with little conviction. If you sin and you're in love and you have a relationship with God, that should bother you. That should put some strain upon your heart. But if you sin and just keep on walking like nothing was wrong, there's a problem there.
Yeah.
So I agree with all of them right there. We left God as our first love if all those are true. So if they're true in your life, maybe you need to start working on correcting those. Get back in time of prayer. Get back in the Bible. Worship is not motions. Get involved with worship. Enjoy it. Ask God to open your heart to come into you. Going to church is a chore more than a delight. Hey, it's a delight to come to church nowadays because how long were we just online? Now we get to come in and see people.
I think it was 9-10 weeks, something
Yeah,
like that.
somewhere in there. It was tough. And if you're able to sin with little conviction, you need to start praying. You need to start praying a lot. So that was our lesson. It covered Exodus 20, 7 through 11, and Psalms 145, 1 through 7. So that's week 2.
Man,
I know.
2 in one night.
2 in one
We
night.
are awesome.
That's right. I think Carrie will be back from the Amazon again next week. I'm not for sure.
I don't know. Depends on if she gets found off that milk carton.
That's true. So if she's not here, I'll be back. But if she is, she'll be here. And I say farewell.
See ya.